What's going on, Jerome's? Your Minnesota Fighting Vikings quarterback, Kirk Jerome, Ezekiel Cousins, Netflix superstar, all that stuff, has been known during his tenure to get out there with a rah, sis boom ba pregame speech, voice cracking. You like that? All that stuff. And Kirk will get the crew going. And I don't know. Well, most of the crew. Then Stephon Diggs just smiles at him. It's kind of funny, man. But apparently Kirk had a rousing speech in front of the team at one of their meetings last week. And, Kirk is the leader. Where it felt like for a number of seasons when Kirk got here in 2018, especially coming off the 2017 season where the Vikings were that close to a home Super Bowl, whatever. But that was a veteran-laden team with Zimmer and crew, and Kirk kind of felt like the new kid in town, the mercenary, trying to get them over the hump, and also, frankly, allowed that locker room that they really loved Teddy, they really loved Case Keenum, and Kirk was sort of the interloper taking up all the salary cap at the time. But then over the subsequent years, Kirk has grown and shown in his role, and also some of the other veterans sort of stepped aside. So it is Kirk Cousins' team right meow. So his speech is phenomenal. Also, la 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 la. That's a good movie, man. That was good. But this is from the Strip. Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins walked out of practice Thursday. Later that night, Kirk Cousins impressed teammates and coaches with a speech addressing the team. Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins' 12th NFL training camp began with an idea. What if Cousins addressed the offense, maybe after practice someday, just to talk through some lessons a veteran could impart on a young roster, like driving the speed limit in his van. Kevin O'Connell had another idea. I thought, no, you're going to stand up in front of our guys in our team meeting room for the better part of however long it was, the Vikings coach said. You could hear a pin drop in there because everyone was sleeping. All I could hear was the snoring. Cousins, who has 141 NFL starts for in the playoffs, addressed the team Thursday night and gave a speech now lauded by coaches and teammates. He discussed the importance of relationships, not taking for granted a day the team spends together, and finding routines for physical and mental growth that separate those players who make the NFL roosters and those who don't. And Garrett Bradbury, who spends a lot of time with Kirk. This is from Alec Lewis, The Athletic. Asked Viking center Garrett Bradbury yesterday about Kirk Cousins' speech to the team this week. Here's what he had to say, quote, I mean, it's nothing new. He's like the smartest guy I've ever met. He's so articulate and he's so well-spoken. That's at Michigan State education, man. There's not that many guys that have the experiences he's had and can communicate in the way that he does. There's something that everyone in the locker room can learn from a guy like that. I've been so blessed and fortunate to have him all 5 years because I learn stuff from him every day. Because even though I can learn so much from, all he wants to do is learn about us. My locker was next to his rookie year, and it was awesome. And I got to FaceTime with him. I got a lot of FaceTime with him. But I think after that, he told the equipment staff, move me to the defensive side. I want to be around some defensive guys because he saw all of us all the time, and he wanted to know the defensive guys better. He makes a big effort to build relationships. And the whole thing about that's the thing about it too. Is like I feel like the Netflix documentary sort of showed Kirk behind the scenes where he almost had this caricature of how the media wanted to portray him just as this aloof goofball quarterback who can never win on Monday Night Football, blah, blah, blah. But he truly does care about his team. Cares about his family, cares about his team. He does care about these relationships, and he does put a lot of work in getting himself mentally and especially physically prepared for Sundays. But even though maybe to a degree, maybe it was just like a whatever speech, and maybe it was a little bit corny, and maybe some of the players did sort of laugh at him, like Stephon Diggs here, or were they really inspired? Like, was this, they may take our lives, but they'll never take the NFC North sort of deal, or they'll never take our no-trade clause? But here's the like, going back to ancient Greece and ancient Rome, like oratory was a major part about being a leader. Like, if you couldn't stand up in front of a group and speak, you were not going to be leading. So the fact that Kirk got up there and by all accounts gave this phenomenal speech, I wish that they had cameras in there. Like, when's VEN going to drop this one? Or I wish that Kirk was coming back for season 2 of QB as well. But I don't know, like either way, I'm fired up. Kirk Cousins is fired up, and the rest of the team is fired up. Apparently, he gave a great speech to the team last week. Yeah, but all kidding aside, like Kirk does have a lot of wisdom to impart. So he's been in the league for a dozen years. He's won the division a couple times. He's won one playoff game. But the NFL is literally not for long. And the truth is, on the 90-man roster, only a handful of these guys are going to play beyond 3-4 years. And it's not about just being a flash in the pan or just getting that one big paycheck. Let's get paid and then go on from there. It's about creating a legacy. It's about being able to accumulate potentially generational changing money, not only your kids, but your grandkids and beyond that. And it's a game that you love. And you want to be successful at it, and you can build these lifelong relationships with your teammates, with your coaches. You can win some games, and you can go out and get things done. I think that Kirk has a great perspective on that. I think that Kirk being a family man, Kirk putting things in perspective, like from the quarterback documentary. After the Vikings lost the Giants, he goes home and bathes his kids and reads them a bedtime story. Like, there's things that are big in life, and there are things that seem big that are actually kind of small. And at the end of the day, I mean, sports ball, relatively small, even though it seems kind of big at times. But I think that Kirk, he stood the test of time. He's been a pro's pro, and he's a great teammate. He's a great leader. He's a great father. He's a great husband. And like I've said before, frankly, the world could use more people like Kirk Cousins. And if you can impart some of that wisdom on some young guys that maybe didn't have role models growing up, or maybe have been a little bit dicey in their personal lives, or maybe they don't dedicate themselves to being a professional. Maybe they've just gotten by on their God-given ability, and all of a sudden it's being tested. So I think that Kirk did impart a ton of wisdom, and he's a great resource for all these young guys in that locker room. But your thoughts are thoughts. The Kirk speech, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.